If Christians started doing this when they read the Bible, their understanding and comprehension would skyrocket. Matthew 10:17. We're going to look at how to study the Bible and ask questions, meditate on what we're reading. Jesus is sending out the apostles like sheep in the midst of wolves. He tells them to be wise like serpents and innocent as doves. So we have three different animals that the disciples are to kind of embody specific characteristics of these animals. He says, beware of men, these are the wolves, for they will deliver you over to courts. I'm just going to notice that a list is starting to develop. They will flog you in their synagogues. Here's the second idea. And you'll be dragged before governors and kings. Right? So when a list starts to develop in the Bible, take notice of it and go, hey, the items in this list, what do they have in common? Well, these are at least what the men or the wolves are doing to the sheep that Jesus is sending out. They're being delivered over to courts, right? They're being flogged. They're being dragged before governors and kings. And Jesus says this is specifically for my sake, meaning it's strategic. It's not accidental. It's not like, ah, dang, I didn't expect this. It's for his sake to bear witness before them and the Gentiles. Now, if I'm new to the Bible, new to Christianity, I might go, what's a Gentile? Very simply, it's a non-ethnic Jew, someone who is not a part of the nation of Israel, physically descending from Abraham. Right? So these Gentiles, why are they kind of lumped in? Why does Jesus pause to make it clear that you guys need to bear witness before them and the Gentiles? Why are they in view? Consider the rest of Matthew's gospel up to this point. That might help us understand. When they deliver you over, and it's like, when? Whoa, what do you mean when? You're going to let that happen? When they deliver you over, don't be anxious about how you are to speak. So I might just want to put myself in the disciples' shoes for a second. If I'm handed over to the authorities, about to stand before the governor or something, in what ways might I be anxious about how I'm going to speak? Right? There might be some self-preserving tendencies in me. I might want to get out of this danger. I might want to just get out of the situation. And Jesus is saying, don't be anxious about how you're to speak or even what you are to say. And I might ask why. That's a real concern of mine. I want to be careful with my words, right? For what you are to say will be given to you in that hour. So I might just want to think through the specific strategy of Jesus to let his disciples end up in these situations strategically to bear witness to what he's done and who he is, and then to give them the words, not when they prefer, but he says in that hour, at the right time, in the right way. It is not you who speak, but the Spirit of your Father speaking through you. I might want to go, why does he clarify this? Why does that matter? How does that relieve the concern of the anxious apostles standing before the authorities? Why is it helpful to know, hey, the Spirit of my Father is going to speak through me? All right, so the next Bible study will continue in verse 21.